Good evening, Pokemon fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Flinch Squad Circuit. In tonight's episode, we'll be covering all of the matches from week 1 of our tournament. And, forget it, we're here, it's week 1, I'm not going to mess around anymore, but how are you doing, guys? Hope you're all well. We are here. It has finally started. It is the Sun series of the Flinch Squad Circuit. So I hope you're all well. Hope you are enjoying the tournament so far. And for all of you out there that aren't taking part, this is a feature of the Flinch Squad Circuit. So we will be creating content on the matches, progression of the tournament as we go through the next few weeks until we hit the end of the Sun series, and we can crown our Sun series champion. Prizes and things will be featured on this series as we go forward, but let's take a quick look at the week 1 pairing. So the players we've got in the tournament for going into season 1 are Hector VGC from the United States, we've got Pinko VGC from the UK, we've got Urine from the Netherlands, Wormseye from the UK, Johnny Hacks from Italy, Stu from America, Will from UK, Jace from Ireland, Pokemon from the UK, and then obviously we've already said Urine, but we know he's from Holland, and because he's playing twice in week 1, we'll give him a special mention. So these are the week 1 matches, guys. We're going to go through a few matches and highlights and just cover the results from week 1 and look and see how you all get on. So we're going to just take this as a trial by trial basis, but it's going to be quite exciting going forward, and you'll have to bear with me because I'm kind of finding out the best formula for us to do this on and to feature these matches. I don't know if I'm going to have time to feature every single match of every single week, but I'm going to pick some matches out and definitely highlight some as well, and hopefully we can continue to feature as many matches as possible. But without further ado, so we've got the first match of week 1, which was Monday the 5th of November when we kicked it off. It is going to be Hector VGC versus Pinko VGC, the battle of the VGCs. So let us pull the screen up, let's get rid of the week 1, and I've got the match code in. So let's go into the first match of this week. I feel like I should put my cap, combo and glasses on and do the news reporter thing. So we've got Hector playing a team of Lunala, Tapu Koko, Kartana and Kyogre, and then we've got Pinko with a team of Incineroar, Tornadus, Kartana and Xerneas. So on face value, what are we looking at? We're probably looking at Lunala with the Electric Seed there, gonna make it a lot better equipped to deal with that Incineroar after the defensive boost. Tapu Koko going to be a fast pivot, it threatens the Tornadus, can do good damage to the Kartana and decent damage to the Xerneas before it can set up. You've got the Kartana which helps check that Xerneas. Tornadus there's going to be a bit difficult for Hector to deal with, because especially with the Kyogre bringing the rain, it makes those Hurricanes 100% accurate, so Hector needs to make sure to get rid of that thing before anything else. It obviously helps support the Xerneas setup and things like that, but Hector's going to have to really concentrate down hard on making sure that Xerneas doesn't get set up on Pinko's side, because that looks like from his 4 that he's got which strategy he's going to go with. So without further ado, let's get into this first one, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute blinder. Got my tea, my reporter tea, so we're all set and ready. We're going to see Lunala, Tapu Koko come out for Hector, and then we are going to see Incineroar and Tornadus from Pinko. So we've got the Intimidate onto both targets on Hector's side. Not going to matter too much because they are more special attacking variants. You know, you sometimes see Tapu Koko varying lately with physical and special with that wild charge that it's got access to, but you would imagine it's probably more of a special one. And we are seeing that Electric Seed activate on the Lunala here, and Incineroar just going for that fake out into the Tapu Koko, and prevented moving this turn with a taunt coming out from the Tornadus. With that Prankster ability going first, Lunala has fallen for the taunt. Koko flinches, and there's the Tailwind being denied on Hector's side. So really good first turn for Pinko VGC. We are seeing that Tornadus go for the Tailwind here, get that speed control on Pinko's side of the field, and then Hector returning with an Electro Web onto the opposing side of the field, lowering that speed boost by just 1 stage. I'm doing some nice damage to both the Tornadus and a little bit of chip to that Incineroar. We're going to see a Moongeist Beam. It's probably into the Tornadus and it will remove it this turn. You can't imagine it's into that Incineroar because it is not very effective. But it is predicting maybe the switch on Pinko's side of the field with just a Flare Blitz coming out from the Incineroar into that Lunala, breaking that Shadow Shield and doing a tiny bit of chip damage and putting Pinko in not a bad position now because the knockoff threatens that Lunala KO. Well, it doesn't because of the boost, but it does threaten a lot of damage. We're going to see another Electro Web from Tapu Koko, the Tornadus protecting here, not wanting to get taken down or lose any more speed, and the Incineroar getting chipped down again. And moving back, guys, the beam, it is again into that Incineroar, predicting that switch out from the Incineroar, maybe predicting that it U-turns out, but just getting the damage onto it as well, all important from this Lunala. There's another Flare Blitz, so maybe no knockoff from the Incineroar here, just going to fire into the Tapu Koko now and do some decent damage to it, take down about 52 health, and proccing that berry on the Incineroar. Going to get all that health back and undo all that Moongeist Beam damage, and that taunt has worn off from the Lunala. We are going to see it switch out though on Hectic's side, and the Kartana come in here, so preserving that Lunala for later on. There's the taunt again, just covering that potential tailwind from the Lunala on Hectic's side of the field, with a wild charge being revealed from the Tapu Koko. Going to be definitely enough under this electric terrain, even after the Intimidate, to take down the Tornadus. And Hectic taking an early lead here. Where's this Flare Blitz going to go? Oh, it is knockoff this time from the Incineroar. Unfortunately, not that Flare Blitz, but taking off the Focus Sash on the Kartana, and now Xerneas hitting the field. Pinko's big guns are out, so the Xerneas here are going to be wanting to try and set up, but being aware that that Kartana does pose quite a threat as well, with knockoff, Smart Strike, and we're going to see a Nature's Madness from this Tapu Koko revealed into that Xerneas, but Sacred Sword coming out from the Kartana, it is enough unintimidated to take down the Incineroar on Pinko's side of the field, and Hectic taking another big lead here with a beast boost from that Kartana, making it quite threatening with the tailwind now running out. You would have thought maybe that was an opportunity for Pinko to get the Geomancy boost there, but he has got his own Kartana. Is going to come in, going to threaten the KO onto the opposing Kartana with Sacred Sword, but Hectic going to deny that with a Sky Drop, taking the Kartana out of the equation. +1 Smart Strike is enough to get the Venusaur. Keep wanting to say Venusaur. It's not a Venusaur, it's a deer, it's a Xerneas, and another Beast Boost. And now Hectic looking in a really nice position as we go into what is going to be the last turn. The Sky Drop going to drop this Kartana down, and then a Sacred Sword +2 from Hectic's Kartana. Going to do more than enough to pick up the KO here and take game 1 for him. So that is 1-0 to Hectic VGC, and that Kartana, as we saw there, just getting boosted up crazy, to the point of crazy. And Tapu Koko being such a good support Pokemon in that situation, you know, I think Pinko maybe missed out not going for the knockoff earlier on onto that Lunala, in opting for the Flare Blitz. If you'd been able to get a bit more damage onto that slot, and then I don't know, you may have gotten rid of it, but then it does give the opportunity to get the Kartana in on Hectic's side of the field and just burn down those tailwind turns, because I think once you've got the tailwind turns up with Pinko, you want to try and get stuff on the field like your Kartana, like your Xerneas, so you can get the jump on everything else to get set up and start chucking damage out quickly. Unfortunately, couldn't really capitalise on those tailwind turns, so bit unfortunate there, but a nice way for us to kick off today, and it's going to be interesting to see how both players adapt going into game 2. So if you bear with me, guys, we will be back very momentarily with game 2. Okay guys, we are back with game 2 from Hectic and Pinko VGC. We saw Hectic take a big lead in game 1, controlling the field with that Tapu Koko with the Electric Web, revealing the Nature's Madness, and then the Sky Drop at the end, which just made it super easy for him to take out the Xerneas +1 with his Kartana, and then drop that Kartana back into a big Sacred Sword and take that game 1. So we're going to see game 2. Neither player have adjusted their leads, which is very interesting. I think Pinko especially has options where he could go for that knockoff, and he didn't in game 1, predicting that maybe the Lunala was switching out, wanted to catch that Kartana in on the switch, but unfortunately it didn't happen. In the turns that it did happen, he just missed it. So hopefully we can see some adaptations here, but if not, then it'll be interesting nonetheless. So let's get into this next one, guys, and see who the victor is. Can Pinko tie it up, or can Hector just win this one outright and take a big lead early doors week 1? So we're going to see Lunala, Tapu Koko from Hector as in game 1, and returning with Incineroar and Tornadus from Pinko. Sorry, I'm getting everything mixed up. I'm going so fast, but we are going to see the electric train from Hectic's Tapu Koko, going to activate that electric seed on the Lunala, boost that defense by 1 stage, and now we are going to see an Intimidate again. Not so worthwhile onto both of these special attackers, but we did see that Tapu Koko reveal Wild Charge, so helping reduce the damage there. We're going to see a fake out from Pinko's Incineroar into the Tapu Koko, going to prevent it from moving this turn, and another taunt into that Lunala, but will Hectic fall for it this time around? Going to see the Tapu Koko flinch and another Tailwind turn, so trying to call the bluff there for the Tornadus, not going for it. Tornadus now going to protect itself, not going to go for the Tailwind like turn game 1, and we are going to see that Electro Web come out again from the Tapu Koko. Going to just hit that Incineroar now, but Incineroar, so bulky, it is able to take these Electro Webs quite comfortably and doesn't worry too much about the speed drop either. We are going to see another Moongas Beam opting not to go into that Tornado slot and just chip away at that Incineroar, so doing nice damage there from that Electro Web, and Moongas Beam with a Flare Blitz from the Incineroar, and actually targeting down the Tapu Koko this time, not worrying about the Lunala so much, realizing that the Tapu Koko is something that Pinko wants to get rid of. He's going to preserve that Tornadus for later in the game, and we are going to see Kartana hit the field and a Skydrop come out from the Tapu Koko. We're going to take the Kartana way up high, and we are going to see another Moongeist Beam into this Incineroar, slowly chipping this Incineroar down with this Lunala. It's fearless in front of this Incineroar. It has got the defensive boost, but it still needs to be a little bit wary of these knockoffs and Flare Blitz. We are going to see another Flare Blitz, but it is into the Tapu Koko this time, not into the Lunala. That taunt does wear off, and now Lunala is going to have the opportunity to go for that Tailwind if it wants to. Skydrop coming down from the Koko with the Kartana, going to chip potential Focus Slash knockoff into the Lunala from the Kartana, going to do decent damage, break that Shadow Shield. But the Tailwind coming out from Lunala, and will this Incineroar pick up a knockoff into that slot? But it's not, it's going to go for another Flare Blitz, maybe predicting, but it's just wanting to get rid of that Tapu Koko, which is good. So that Tapu Koko has been nullified, which is really good, and Incineroar taking a bit of chip damage just above berry range, and now with that Tailwind up, Hectic has the opportunity. He is able to bring in this Kyogre. Things not looking so great for Pinko right now. Tailwind's up on the opposite side of the field. This Kyogre is going to be able to check out some huge water spouts. Pinko now trying to adjust. Going to take out that Incineroar, preserve it for later on. We're going to see the Tornadus hit the field again. Going to see a Moongeist Beam. You've got to imagine it's going to be into the Kartana just to make sure if that water spout comes out from the Kyogre, it is going to be enough to pick up the KO. But maybe with an Assault Vest, is it going to be enough? I don't think it is going to be enough with a Moongeist Beam doing a lot of damage. Big water spout going to take that Kartana down, and the Tornadus down to its sash. Big critical hit. I don't really think it mattered too much, but revealing that Focus Sash on the Tornadus, things are looking not too great for Pinko right now, but he has got access to that Prankster Tailwind. He is going to be able to make sure that he gets that off. He has got Incineroar with Fake Out that he can utilise this turn. Intimidate coming out again, not going to affect either of these special attackers, but we have that Fake Out. Where's it going to go? You've got to imagine it's into that Kyogre. Kyogre going to reveal Protect to avoid that Fake Out damage, and Tornadus has to go for that Tailwind this turn. There's the Fake Out into the Protect, and no, Tailwind from Tornadus, just a Moongeist Beam coming out from the Lunala. It is going to target into, is it going to be that Tornadus? You've got to imagine it is into the Tornadus. You've got to think there that Pinko wanted to try, he had to go for that Tailwind to try and stand a chance to get this Xerneas in the next turn, and then be able to get that Geomancy boost before anything else could touch it, but unfortunately that has not happened. Now we're going to see Lunala just switch out for Pinko. He's not worried about that defensive boost anymore. He knows he can deal with that Incineroar with Kyogre in the Tailwind. Going to throw out a huge Water Spout, pick up the knockout on Incineroar, do huge damage to the Xerneas. Xerneas in a really bad spot now. You know, it's the last Pokemon on Pinko's side of the field. It is going to go for that Geomancy. This is a whole thing that Pinko is going to have to tried and done this whole match, but unfortunately, just with the pressure from Hectic's side of the field, just unable to do that. There's that Power Herb activating the one-turn Geomancy boost. But you got to feel it's a bit too late now, facing down against a Cortana and a Kyogre. If that Cortana is Assault Vested as well, easily going to be able to take at least a Moonblast or a Dazzling Gleam, and neither Pokemon really too threatened here from a KO. So there it is Protect from Kyogre, Dazzling Gleam from the Xerneas. Let's see how much it does. Will he get a critical hit? But we know it is Focus Sash Cortana. It is going to hang on no matter what this damage output is this turn, hanging on with that Focus Sash and return with a Smart Strike. That the health that Xerneas is, it's just going to be able to be picked up. So a huge win for Hector here, and Pinko just find it very hard. Maybe predicting the switch-ins from that Lunala, not wanting to go for those knockoffs straight away, but you have to think that you had to match the Tailwind initially from that Lunala once that taunt wore off, but unfortunately wasn't able to do that. And then when the Kyogre comes in the Tailwind, it's extremely difficult to find any momentum on your side of the field. We saw how powerful that was, but great win to Hector. Hats off, and he is going to top the table going into this first round, week 1 matchup. So let's get the week matchups again. So we have got Hector and Pinko VGC. We can mark that off as a result for Hector, 2-0. So that's 3 points to Hector, and unfortunately 0 points for Pinko. But there is plenty of weeks left to play in this circuit, so Pinko do not get too downbeat about that result. There's plenty of opportunities to get more points on the board, and I'm sure you'll come back a lot stronger in the coming weeks. Next match we have up is Urine versus Wormseye, but requested from the players, we are not going to feature this match this week on the channel, so we will feature Wormseye and Urine later on in the episode, maybe, because we have another match with Urine. He is playing twice this week. Each player, by the way, will play twice every week in the circuit because just of the numbers, so we can make up. So we can feature Urine later on in this video. So the next match we're going to feature is Johnny Hacks versus Stu. So if you bear with me, guys, we will get this match underway and we will be right back in just one moment. Okay guys, so we've got our next battle up this episode, which is going to be with Will R versus Jace Face. So we're going to see Will R playing a team of Palkia, Amoonguss, Kyogre and Incineroar. Really interesting combo there. We don't often see the Palkia played in this format, but still a very strong option. And I'm sure this is going to be a corker of a game with Jace playing a combination of Tapu Koko, Lurantis, Kyogre and Dusk. Man, Necrozma. So going to be a really great battle. Without further ado, let's get into it. Good luck to both trainers, and let's see who comes out on top after this one. We are going to see Jace Face with his lovely Pikachu top on, and we're going to see Will R come out with Palkia Amoonguss. So what is Jace going to come back with? The Tapu Koko and Lurantis. So nice lead there from Jace Face. He is going to be able to negate that Amoonguss Rage Powder Spore with the Lurantis and the Tapu Koko Electric Terrain, just protecting against any Spore spam from that Amoonguss as well. So Palkia going to be a little bit under threat from the Lurantis and Koko, but we are going to see the Tapu Koko hard switch out for that Necrozma. Spatial Rain coming out from the Palkia. It is going to be into that Lurantis. How much damage is it going to do? It's going to do a lot of damage. Big damage, but proccing a berry, 50% berry on this Lurantis is going to take back all that health and become a bit of a threat. So what we're going to see is Superpower coming out into the Palkia. Going to boost that defense and attack from the Lurantis with that Contrary ability and a Clear Smoke coming out just to remove the stat boost on the Lurantis and do some really nice damage at the same time. So removing the stat changes, really nice play there from Will. Just knowing that the boost could be coming out here from that Lurantis. We're going to see Amoonguss switch out now. Kyogre hit the field. It is going to bring the rain to the field, that Drizzle ability, rain for 5 turns. What we're going to see Jace's side of the field do, we're going to see a Protect from the Lurantis. So is that Palkia going to target down the Dustman Necrozma? It's going to be a big one. So there's the Hydro Pump. It is the predicted, the Protect. Trying to get rid of it. Oh wow, the Necrozma just hangs on. That's crazy. No Trick Room either, and just a Sunsteel Strike coming out into the Palkia. You've got to imagine, because you would imagine probably a psychic attack into that Amoonguss, but just not very effective because of that water typing. And Jace in a really difficult spot now. The Protect coming out from the Necrozma, not wanting to get taken down. What is going to go first? It's going to be a Spatial Rend. It's going to make sure that it is protecting that Kyogre, taking down that Lurantis. It should be enough. It is enough to take it down. Lurantis fainting on Jason's side of the field, and unfortunately Will taking a big lead. Can Jason do anything about this? That Necrozma is in an awful position right now, very, very low health, and the Tapu Koko coming in trying to recoup this game for him. So Palkia gonna come back, gonna save itself for later as Incineroar hits the field, gonna intimidate both Tapu Koko. More importantly, get that intimidate onto the Duskmane Necrozma, but you gotta feel like that Duskmane Necrozma is in a really tight space right now, not wanting to take any hits from anything, and yet that's it, just gonna switch right out, and Kyogre gonna hit the field for Jason, gonna be able to absorb those water type attacks big, but the Kyogre on Will's side of the field does protect. Not going to want to take any damage from the Tapu Koko, but the Koko going into the Palkia slot, which is now the Incineroar. Big Thunder going to do huge damage as well and revealing the life orb there. So we know that the Tapu Koko is going to avoid that fake out damage this turn with the Protect, and we are going to see the double Protect from Jason's side of the field. Just want to avoid any damage here from a fake out water spout combination. Fake out from the Incineroar into that Tapu Koko Protect, and a Thunder back from Will's Kyogre into the opposing Kyogre and Jason's side of the field. Electric Terrain does disappear. You've got to worry because that Amoonguss is still in the back, so you might want to try and pivot your Koko out to get it back in again, sacrificing the Necrozma to that Kyogre. We are going to see a Thunder though. It is going to stay in and target down this Kyogre on Will's side of the field. It is going to be enough. Oh, it is not quite enough, but it does get the paralysis. That's crazy. Okay, huge turn there. It's a paralysis, and we're going to see a Berry activate on Will's Kyogre. Can it snap out of this paralysis, get an attack off? We are going to see an Origin Pulse from the Kyogre, not opting for that Thunder this time. Going to hit the Tapu Koko, should be enough to take it down. It is. It does a bit of chip to that Kyogre, getting rid of the big threat on Jason's side of the field in that Tapu Koko though, and a Scald coming out, and it will be into that Amoonguss slot, which was the Incineroar. Amoonguss going to be able to take it pretty easily, but there's the burn, and it is going to be able to start chipping away at this Amoonguss now. What is going to come in on Jason's side of the field is going to be that Necrozma. It's so low health though, and you've got to imagine it is probably, because it's a Trick Room kind of variant from the looks of the team, it's probably going to be slower than this Kyogre on Will's side of the field. So Incineroar going to come back in, cycle these Intimidate one more time onto the Necrozma in case it does manage to get an attack off. You've got to remember that this Kyogre is paralysed, so it could be fully paralysed this turn. That would be huge for Jason here. But we are going to see a Thunder, and it does hit outside of the rain for Jason, and it is into the Kyogre. Is this enough? It is not enough. Oh my god, that is crazy. Okay, Photon guys are into what was Amoonguss. Incineroar able to take it, and this Kyogre fighting through the paralysis. Going to be able to hit this Origin Pulse, get rid of the Necrozma, and now all Will has to do is take down this Kyogre. Some huge turns here for us, huge turns. And we've got the fake out from the Incineroar. Opposing Kyogre just going to protect now. What we're going to see, fake out, yeah. And the Thunder, or just go for that Origin Pulse with the Kyogre. Kyogre now on Will's side, picking the time if there's any time to be fully paralysed. This turn was it. Going to see the opposing Kyogre go for that Water Spout. It is going to be enough to take down both these targets, but you've got to think the job in front of Jace's Kyogre is going to be a bit impossible. There is still a Palkia and an Amoonguss sitting in the back, ready to come in. I don't know if Jace is going to have enough, revealing the moves Scald, Water Spouts, Thunder and Protect. I don't feel like it's got a way to take down this Amoonguss, and especially not this Palkia. Palkia is going to outspeed it. It's going to have access to Thunder, Spatial Rend, potentially Thunder, but we are going to see Jace just want to scout out what these Pokemon on Will's end are going to do. We are going to see Spatial Rend. It is going to be into Kyogre, protecting through that, and then a Grass Knot revealing it. It feels like it's just too much for Jace to do now. He's fought back. I feel like this is a very good matchup. I think if you just play things a little bit differently going into game 2, you can probably overcome a lot of this. We are going to see a lot of information on Will's end though as well, proccing that berry on the Kyogre. But Will's positioned himself very nicely in this match, and with that Palkia just attacking the Lurantis, getting that damage onto it first turn. See the Thunder there from the Kyogre, not quite powerful enough, but interestingly enough, we do see that the Palkia is slower. No, sorry, we do see that the just ignore me there, but that is game 1, just ignore me. But yes, I feel like if you are Jason going into game 2, you want to utilise Tapu Koko, because it was so strong there when it did come onto the field. It was maybe a little bit too late, but with those thunders you saw how much damage it did to the Incineroar. You see it did a lot of damage. It could do a lot of damage to the Palkia as well, threatens the Palkia. Maybe you want to try and preserve the Dustman Necrozma there, taking a huge Hydro Pump from the Palkia in the rain, just barely missing the knockout. If you can utilise the Necrozma a bit better going into game 2, you've got to obviously be a little bit aware of that Incineroar, so making sure that you've got your Kyogre at hand to be able to deal with that. The Amoonguss is going to be very difficult to deal with, but you do have Lurantis as well, so even if you do get into Trick Room, you want to make sure, if you're Jason, I guess, have your Electric Terrain up, get Necrozma, get the Trick Room up, and get Lurantis in. It's going to be immune to Rage Powder, immune to Spawn. You can start throwing around those knockoffs, Superpowers, Leaf Blades, and you can kind of cut through this team. I think you've got to really get the Trick Room up and then get Lurantis going. I feel like that's the best mode for Jason going into this match. And then late game, hopefully you've got enough in the tank where Tapu Koko can come in and just kind of clean up, because we know the Kyogre isn't scarfed, the Palkia isn't scarfed, and Tapu Koko is going to be the fastest thing in the field. But at the same time, Will played that first game super well, made it extremely difficult for Jason to get any momentum going into this one. So I don't know, like, maybe the same game plan. That Palkia, that Amoonguss are just very good. Obviously you've got to be a bit careful with your Incineroar, and when you switch it in front of that Lurantis, you don't want to activate that Contrary ability. But I feel like with the Palkia, and it's going to be able to take a multitude of hits from Jason's side of the field, you've just got to be a bit careful, but you've got the protection there with the Amoonguss, so I don't really see Will changing up too much going into game 2. But we'll be right back with game 2. I will just get the cards, and we'll be right back in 1 second, guys. So we are here with game 2 from Will R and Jaceface. So we saw in game 1 that Palkia, the Amoonguss control, and the Incineroar from Will's side of the field just overcoming too much for Jason, but we are going to see the two teams just change things up as we go into game 2. So let's see who comes out victorious, and can Jace bring this back to tie it up and take it to a game 3. Let's see as we get into it with Jace with that Pikachu shirt on. We're going to see Palkia and Amoonguss come out as another lead, same lead as game 1 for Will and Jason, mixing it up with the Necrozma and that Smeagol. So giving himself a little bit more option to go down that Trick Room route. But without the Tapu Koko, he's not got the protection from that Spore as much as he did game 1. We are going to see the Amoonguss switch out for Kartana here. Smeagol going for a Follow Me, going to completely protect that Necrozma from any damage this first turn, as we see the Palkia go for that Spatial Rend. Is going to connect. It will potentially, and I guess, take down this Smeagol too. It's Sash. It is Sash Smeagol. Going to activate that, but we are probably going to see a Trick Room from this Necrozma, and then there it is, turning the dimensions, making everything the slowest on the field move first, and everything fastest on the field move last for the next 5 turns. Defensive boost on the Moody there for the Smeagol, and special attack drop. So does it have... Oh, there's the Endeavour coming out. That is a huge reveal here. And a Photon guys are going to double up. Is it into that Kartana, or is it into the... Yes, it is. Taking the Kartana down, which is going to be one of the things that really threatens that Kyogre if Jason's got it later on in this match. Taking down the Kartana, a huge reveal on the Endeavour from that Smeagol. But we are going to see a huge turn from Will as well. Going to reverse the Trick Room. Going to put the dimensions back to normal, so his Pokemon are going to be hitting first going into this next turn. Moody Boost, special attack, and accuracy drop on the Smeagol as Kyogre comes in and hits the field for Will. Going to create that rain and bring the Drizzle to the field for the next 5 turns. And this Dustman Necrozma has got to feel a little bit threatened now, because the Smeagol has got access to Follow Me. Does it have Wide Guard? It does have Wide Guard, and here we go. It reveals it now, protecting from any water spout damage. And we're going to see that Hydro Pump again into the Dustman Necrozma, and is it enough this time? No, every time taking it, and the water spout to follow up. But just enough protecting both Pokemon here. And Dustmane Necrozma just hanging on, and there is the Trick Room once again from this Dustmane Necrozma. You've got to think that Palkia feels super threatened now with a double up from Endeavour and Photon Geyser into that slot. Maybe thinking that the Kyogre protects on Will's side, but we'll have to see. Will not in the greatest positions. He wants to reverse this Trick Room, so he's got to be careful. Here we go. Endeavour into that Palkia. Going to take it down to 1 HP and a Stun Seal Strike into what you would imagine that slot, which will deny Will getting that Trick Room reversed. But he does have the Amoonguss in the back, so you don't need to worry too much. And doing this turn lets the Kyogre get a Water Spout off. So Will probably knowing this, sacrificing the Palkia, and it is not going to be a Water Spout, it's going to be a Thunder. It is 100% accurate in the Sun, and it is going to be into that Necrozma slot, is enough to pick up the KO there and take this Necrozma down. Smeagol still sticking around on the field. There's a special defensive boost, but it is on 1 HP, and there's a special attack drop there as well. We are going to see Jace bring in his own Kyogre now. You've got to be a little bit worried because this Amoonguss is going to hit the field. It does threaten Spores, it does threaten Grass Knots. A lot of threats for this. We're going to see a Follow Me from the Smeagol, not opting for that Endeavour. Going to try and protect his Kyogre as best possible. We're going to see the Amoonguss go for a Grass Knot. It is going to knock out that Smeagol through that Sash, but avoiding the Grass Knot onto the Kyogre is huge here for Jason, as we see a Thunder come out from Jason. No, from Will's Kyogre is going to be the slowest thing, so underspeeding the Kyogre on Jason's side of the field, which is massive, and picking up the Paralysis as well, which can be a double-edged sword, can help him out going into these next few turns, especially as the Trick Room's up, as the Thunder comes out from Jason's Kyogre into Will's and taking it down to about 50% health. So, and Lurantis coming in for Jason, so looking like a great spot for him. The Lurantis going to be immune to Spores, or immune to Rage Powder. We're going to see a Protect come out from Will's Kyogre. Just want to preserve it for later on in the game when this Trick Room runs out. Grass Knot coming out from Amoonguss does underspeed this Kyogre and will be enough. Will this Lurantis target down the Amoonguss here with a knockoff? You've got to go for the knockoff here, you have to. Leaf Blade coming out into the Kyogre, but nice Protect there from Will. And the Trick Room is still underway, so I think we've got one more turn in this Trick Room here. We're going to see a Clear Smog come out from the Amoonguss. It is going to be into the Lurantis and do some decent damage with it, reversing any stat changes, and a Leaf Blade. This should be enough to get the Kyogre, and now going to come down to 1-on-1 with this Amoonguss. It makes it very difficult because you want to get these super power boosts off, but at the same time, every time you do that, you're going to take Clear Smog damage, which is not ideal because it removes those contra boosts. We're going to see a knockoff, remove a Figgy Berry. Here is the Clear Smog. Can Amoonguss beat and overcome this Lurantis? Lurantis, we have seen, it has got the berry, so we'll get a few more turns out of this. Can it just do enough though? There is a superpower, like we said. It's not going to be doing enough though, but that's Clear Smog coming out each turn. These boosts are just going to be negated. They're going to be able to, the Amoonguss is going to be able to get rid of them, and there is that Clear Smog. It will probably put this Lurantis into the berry range, which we will see it's berry, but those stats are removed. Unfortunately, I think you'd be better off going for the knockoff, just continual knockoff here, rather than the reduced superpower damage. We're not going to see it doing enough. There is another superpower. It's still not quite doing enough. Maybe the knockoffs here would have been the better player. I don't know, but it just feels like with the Clear Smog reducing these stats every time, you're kind of onto a loser because the Amoonguss isn't going to lock into anything else. Nothing else this Amoonguss can do, whereas knockoff would be doing, I think, a bit of a more significant damage here. You're probably going to take one more Clear Smog. So yeah, and I don't know, will a knockoff. Oh, just hangs on. Here we go, moment of truth. Calm, Jason. Bring this one back. Here we go. Superpower into and not opting for the knockoff. And just missing the knockout on the Amoonguss. And the Amoonguss now going to be able to pick up the win for Will and take game 1, week 1 for Will. So, GG to both players. Really good match. I feel like Jace really adapted there very well, coming back and nearly clinching it at the end. I think the thing there in that match would have been going knockoffs into the Amoonguss rather than the superpowers, because you know the Grass Knot isn't going to be an option from the Amoonguss onto the Lurantis. I think the knockoff there would be more consistent damage, and I think if you went from it from that turn just after you used it and continue to use it, you'd probably get the Amoonguss in the end there. But that's something I'd have to damage calc. I don't know off the top of my head. I just feel like the knockoff would do more consistent damage in that situation, but could be wrong. Very well played by both players, but we've got one more match to feature. Unfortunately, we were going to feature Johnny versus Stu in this episode, but the battle codes that I've received from the players aren't working, so this is going to have to be something that will feature and highlight their matches in next week's episode. So we've got one more match to go. We've got Poke Marty, VGC versus Urine. We didn't get to feature Urine earlier on because of the request from the players not to feature that match, so we'll be right back with game 1, Poke Marty versus Urine. So don't go away, guys, we'll be right back. So here we are, guys, we are back with our last game of the episode. It's going to be Pokemon VGC versus Urine. So let's get this started. We've got Urine on the left hand side of your screen, which it depends how you're looking at it, I guess, and then Marty on the right. I am playing a team. Urine going with the Xerneas, the Amoonguss, the Incineroar, the Groudon. Pokemarty going with Lurantis, Solgaleo, Xerneas and Incineroar. So really nice options here for both players. I am super excited to get into this one. Cannot wait. So without further ado, let's get this one started. Hopefully it's a good one, guys, and I think it will be. So let's see. We're going to see Urine lead off with that Xerneas and the Amoonguss. Super solid lead here with the Lurantis and Solgaleo coming out for Marty. So does that Solgaleo have the safety goggles? If it does, it threatens that Xerneas straight off and ignores that Rage Powder. Here is the Rage Powder coming out from the Amoonguss, trying to protect that Xerneas from the Solgaleo. And are we going to see the Geomancy? We are going to see the Geomancy. Here it is from the Xerneas. Remember that Lurantis is immune to that Rage Powder because of its grass typing, so it will be able to freely hit into that slot if it decides to. So we are going to see the one-turn Geomancy boost with that Power Herb, boosting its special attack, special defense and speed by 1 stage, becoming a huge threat on your inside of the field. Sunsteel Strike, here it is, Moment of Truth. Has it got the safety goggles? If it has, this is huge for Marty. And I don't know if it has or not. Come on, let's see. It hasn't. There is the Rage Powder, but doing huge damage to that Amoonguss, revealing the Life Orb and a knockoff coming out from the Lurantis, targeting down into that Amoonguss, knocking off an Ockerberry. So Xerneas is set up. It is a threat. We're going to see the Lurantis on the back of that just protected. It's not take any damage here. Another Rage Powder from Amoonguss. Going to be pulling in those attacks from that Solgaleo this turn, protecting the Xerneas. And a Moonblast coming into the Solgaleo. It is going to do some decent damage here. It is boosted, taking it down just below 50%, doing some nice damage, like I say. On the Sunsteel Strike, it is going to be throwing out from that Solgaleo. It is going to be into the Amoonguss, and this will be enough to pick the KO up here. So thing is, Xerneas now in a position where it can knock out the Solgaleo this next turn. So very difficult for Marty here. The Incineroar is going to proc the Contrary boost on that Lurantis, but Urine in a position where you can just fake out the Lurantis and just Moonblast into that Solgaleo. He's not going to lose anything by doing this. We are going to see no fake out here. We're just going to see a Moonblast into that Solgaleo. We are going to see this Incineroar probably move next, I would imagine, and just throw out a Flare Blitz into this Lurantis, but is that going to be enough to pick up the knockout onto it? I don't know if it is from full health, but it is. It's more than enough to pick up the knockout, and Urine taking a really big lead here. You know, he has lost on the Amoonguss, but it was all worthwhile getting that Xerneas set up, and here is Marty's Xerneas returning onto the field with its own Incineroar. So if you bring in your own Xerneas, the one thing that you want next to it is always going to be your own Incineroar with that fake out, intimidate support. You can fake out the opposing Xerneas and set your own Geomancy up here. So I would imagine this is what Marty wants to do. Can Urine adapt to this? There is the fake out into the Xerneas on your side of the field, and the Geomancy from Marty's excuse me, Xerneas. It is going to get the Geomancy boost, 1 turn boosting on the special attack, special defense and speed, going to match Urine's Xerneas for all the power, and we'll see what Urine's Incineroar is going to do. Interestingly, that Urine didn't want to go for a protect on his Xerneas this turn, just in case that fake out was predicted and maybe coming out onto another slot. So they're going to see the Incineroar on your inside of the field. Pivot out with that U-turn. Groudon, here he is, the big lad himself. hit the field, going to bring that drought ability activated, bring the sun to the field, and can Marty have enough in the tank to win this one? He's a little bit behind right now, but who knows. Going to see a Moonblast from his Xerneas. It's into the Groudon. Groudon actually survives, proccing the berry, which probably is a 50% berry. Is it the Figgy? It's going to take it right back up to above 50% health. It is the Ayapapa. There's a Moonblast from Urine's Xerneas. It is into Pokemon Xerneas. It's not gonna... Oh, and the Precipice Blades from the Groudon. It avoids the Xerneas, but does hit the Incineroar. This should be enough to take it down. But Urine putting himself in a really nice place now. He should have enough. 3 Pokemon to 1. Xerneas boosted versus Xerneas boosted. But we are seeing some nice information here. We are seeing that Pokemon Xerneas is the fastest Xerneas on the field. Now, if he can control the field a little bit better this next game round, get rid of that Amoonguss earlier on, and then getting Xerneas set up before Urine can, or just maybe potentially support it a little bit better, then he might have a chance to pull this one back. We are seeing an early lead from Urine in this game, but Pokemon has got the tools to be able to deal with the Xerneas. You know that Solgaleo there is going to be very, very good in this match. You just need to position it a little bit better and make sure that you are maybe saving it for once that Amoonguss has gone down, so you can bring it in and then start throwing out the Sunsteel Strikes, which do kind of at least shut down the options to freely just keep chucking out moves from that Xerneas. You've got to play around it a little bit better if that Solgaleo is not checked as much with the Amoonguss Rage Powder. So that's game 1. Urine taking a quick lead. We'll be back in 2 seconds with game 2. Let's see if Pokemon can tie this one up and take it to a game 3. Right, we're back, guys, with game 2 from Urine versus Pokemon. We're going to see a few alterations here and changes from both sides. We're going to see Urine lead off with that Xerneas and the Amoonguss, and Pokemon are going to change things up with Tapu Lele and Solgaleo this time around. So, no Lurantis on Pokemon's side, but we are going to see a few changes. Let's see who comes out on top here. I think the switch up to the Tapu Lele on Pokemon's side is very good. He's already seen the item on the Amoonguss. No, it's not that Papaya Berry. And if he brings the Tapu Lele, it does heavily threaten the Amoonguss, and potentially threatening the knockout straight away. So, it's a very nice switch for him, instantly putting the pressure on that Amoonguss. Not able to go for those Rage Powders and has to really switch out, as we're going to see here. Amoonguss going to switch out. Tapu Fini going to hit the field, get rid of the Psychic Terrain on Yuri's side of the field. Bring that Misty Terrain, protecting his side from any stats conditions. So we're just going to see the Xerneas protect here. Not want to take any unnecessary damage from a potential Sunsteel Strike. As you see the Psy Shock from the Tapu Lele, it's going to be into that Tapu Fini slot and do some nice damage there, and a Sunsteel Strike into that Xerneas, but going into the Protect there. So, nice turns from both players there. Xerneas going to switch out now to avoid any Sunsteel Strike damage here. And Groudon going to hit the field. I wonder if Urine's Tapu Fini goes for some sort of Swagger shenanigans, Gravity shenanigans, but we're just going to see another Psy Shock into that Xerneas slot, which is now the Groudon. Groudon so defensively built, going to be able to take that quite comfortably as a Sunsteel Strike does come out. And is it doubling into that slot? You've got to imagine it probably is, just with the threat of the Xerneas, how big a problem it was last game. But Marty predicting that, not wanting to allow this Tapu Fini to get any attacks off, going for the Sunsteel Strike into that Tapu Fini slot and taking the big knockout there. So huge turn for Marty. Really nice play there, predicting that Xerneas switching out is so threatened. And you've got to think the Xerneas does protect here, so does he do the double up onto this Groudon as well? Be interesting to see. We are going to see a Y-God from the Solgaleo, revealing that now is huge from taking any Precipice Blades damage. Another Side Shock is going to be into the Groudon. Big play here if that Groudon goes for Precipice Blades, and it does reveal it. Huge turn. Really nice play from Marty, and kind of putting the stoppers on this Groudon, being able to do any damage at all. So Solgaleo's in a really nice position. Still threatened slightly from that Groudon, but now both Pokemon able to double up into that Groudon if they so choose to. Psy Shock coming out from the Tapu Lele. It is going to be into that Xerneas slot now, and Amoonguss, is that going to be enough? It's not quite enough. It is just going to hang on slightly with a Sunsteel Strike coming out. Which target is it going to be into? Is it going to be into that Groudon? You've got to imagine the Groudon might be in range from this attack. Is it going to be? It is. Wow. Oh my god, okay, this is huge now, because Marty put himself in such a dominating position with this lead. He is just ramping through this match now, able to just go side shock into the Amoonguss. We know the Tapu Lele is faster, and then Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas, going to be able to pick up the knockout onto that Xerneas. No way Xerneas survives Life Orb Sunsteel Strike unless it's a crazy defensive variant. There's the side shock, going to clean up the Amoonguss, and the Solgaleo doing its job, what it's there for, being the Xerneas counter. Going to be able to do that this turn. Moonblast from the Xerneas before that Sunsteel Strike comes out. Going to be into the Tapu Lele. Good information going into game 3 for Urine, and the damage wise from that Xerneas. Unboosted Moonblast into the Tapu Lele. Sunsteel Strike coming out from the Solgaleo. It is going to be more than enough. And it is, and Marty ties this round up. So we are going to go to a game 3, very exciting. And this set so far has been electric. Urine, we saw game 1 set that Xerneas up early on and just be dominating with it, utilising the Amoonguss, the Rage Powder here. But Marty going into game 2, adjusting completely, not wanting to allow that Amoonguss as free a ride as possible, especially after seeing the Orca Baryonic game 1, knowing that he can freely just launch a boosted Psychic into that slot and deal with it. But the thing is, going into game 3, if Urine can kind of just adapt his board position a little bit, get that missing terrain up, he knows that Amoonguss can take at least one side shot, which he can utilise if possible. So game 3 is going to be really good. Let's see if both players adapt. I feel like Pokemon probably sticks with what he's got. Urine might want to differently approach this match, but it'll be amazing to see. So we'll be right back with game 3 in just 1 second. So we're back, guys, and we are here with game 3. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I'm not going to go over the teams in preview there. I'm going to do it in game, and we'll see how it goes. And remember, if you would like things changed up, maybe a different way how we do this as we're going through, leave them in the comment section below, and I will make sure to adapt things as we go forward with this series. So we're going to see the Bronzong and the Groudon lead for Urine. He is changing things up here as the Xerneas and the Tapu Lele come out for Marty. So Psychic Train hits the field, that Fairy Aura activating on the Xerneas. Groudon's Drought ability. So getting all the speed tier information here, that Sun on the field for the next 5 turns. You've got to imagine the Bronzong wants to go for this Trick Room here. Does the Tapu Lele on Marty's side have Taunt up to shut this Trick Room down? There's a Side Shock. It is going to be into the Groudon, no Protect here. Doing decent damage under the Psychic Terrain with the Precipice Blades coming out straight away, not worrying about protecting or anything like that. Just going for this. How much damage is it going to do to the Lele? Big damage there, and a Trick Room coming out from this Bronzong. Urine looks like he is in a good position going into this next turn. Are we going to see a Gravity and a Precipice Blades come out? Are we going to see a Gyro Ball into that Xerneas with just a Precipice Blades following up? We are going to see Marty adopt his board position, take that Tapu Lele out, get the Incineroar in, get that Intimidate onto both of Urine's Pokemon. Gravity coming out from this Bronzong, so Precipice Blades coming out here will connect and do big damage to both of these Pokemon. Groudon is intimidated, so this damage is going to be reduced, but it's still going to hit both these Pokemon pretty hard, taking this Incineroar down to below 50% health. Xerneas taking that super well as Marty in the face of a Bronzong under Trick Room and Gravity and a Groudon. Geomancy doesn't care. Got the Incineroar in next to it as well, so this next turn can go for a Fake Out if he just decides to, but if he can play through these Trick Room turns, he's going to be in very good stead. Although that damage from the Groudon's Precipice Blades, even like on the switch in there, the Xerneas is going to be able to take a number of those. Groudon going to protect here, doesn't want to take any Fake Out Moonblast damage, as the Xerneas just protects as well. Is the Incineroar going to target down this Bronzong on your inside of the field? Hypnosis coming out. It's going to be into the Incineroar, so nice play there, Urine, just protecting his board, making sure that Incineroar isn't threatening too much. And now the next turn coming up for Urine is going to be able to go for that Gyro Ball into the Xerneas and Precipice Blades. It should be enough to take down both these targets, but not opting for that, going for a Hypnosis into the Xerneas, not wanting to risk the KO there and just missing it and letting that Xerneas get an attack off. But Incineroar actually wakes up. That's crazy. This is insane. 1 turn wake up. Gonna get the Flare Blitz off in the sun onto that Bronzong, take it down, which is huge. That 1 turn wake up is massive there, and the recall damage going on to the Incineroar going to activate and be enough to proc that Figgy Berry, I think it is, and restore 50% Mago Berry, sorry. And the Precipice Blades now coming out. Both the targets on my side of the field should be able to take this after that Intimidate drop. Incineroar barely hanging on here, but we know it's the slowest thing on the field and will threaten some big damage if not the KO onto this Groudon on your side of the field this next turn. Tapu Fini going to come in for Urine and change the terrain from Psychic to Misty terrain. Does it have Heal Pulse? Can it get a Heal Pulse off? Don't know if it's going to be able to. You've got to hope that this Groudon can take a Flare Blitz in the sun from this Incineroar. Can it take it? Yeah, it can, just barely, and goes down to the recall damage. If this Groudon goes for Precipice Blitz here, it's going to be single target damage into this Xerneas, and it is going to be hitting a lot harder than it was previously. Activating that Aya Papa Berry on the Groudon, return all its health. And going for a Fire Punch, not going to be quite enough, but the Finny goes for his huge turn, getting rid of those Geomancy boosts. Really nice play there from Urine as the Xerneas wakes up and goes for a Moonblast. Where is it going to target? Is it going to be into the Groudon? No, it's going to be into the Tapu Fini here. So, there's not many turns of Trick Room left. We've got it, and there it goes. It ends, the sun ends, and now the Solgaleo comes in. I'm going to be able to threaten a KO onto both targets now. We can see probably maybe a double up into the Groudon, but the Groudon going to protect here. Can the Solgaleo target down the Tapu Fini to get rid of it? There's the Moonblast into the Groudon, protect. Sun Steel Strike coming out. It is going to be into that Tapu Fini. We saw how much damage it did in game 2. It should be enough to pick up the knockout. If for some reason this Tapu Fini can survive and possibly get an Icy Wind off, that would be big, but it's not going to be able to. Tapu Fini going to go down now. Some chip from that Life Orb, and the gravity returns to normal. Xerneas coming in now from Urine's side of the field, super threatened from the Solgaleo. We know that the Groudon's slower than both targets. Urine has to protect that Xerneas now, which he does. We're going to see it protect. Can Groudon get a Precipice Blades off into these two targets? We're going to see a Moonblast. It is going to be into the Groudon slot. What's the damage going to be like? Will it be enough? I don't think so, it isn't. But we are going to see a double up here into the Groudon, and Marty making some amazing plays. Going to be able to clean this one up, leave Urine with his Xerneas, and in front of that Solgaleo we know that that Sunsteel Strike is a one-hit KO, so this game is pretty much over. Very well played from Marty. I can't believe he went for a Geomancy in the face of a Bronzong and a Groudon under Trick Room. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But just enough. He did what he needed to do. It took away all attention and made that Xerneas still a super big threat, especially with the switch into the Incineroar. We saw what the damage was like from the Incineroar's fake out there. I think maybe Urine got very unlucky, unfortunate with the one turn wake up on the Incineroar. If it stayed asleep one more turn, I think the game would have been a bit different, but that's just Pokemon at the end of the day. There's a Sunsteel Strike from the Solgaleo into that Xerneas, and Pokemon have taken his first victory in week 1. So that is insane, guys. That is so crazy, and congratulations to all of our... Why we've gone out of focus? There we go. Congratulations to all of our players in week 1. And that has been insane. I hope you've enjoyed the recaps here. They've probably been quite long. I'm going to try and cut them down and things like that, but hopefully you've enjoyed all of them. I tell you what we will do, we'll have a look at the league table after week 1. So let's get this up, and I'm going to try and get the results from week 1 leaderboard. Here we go. Let's get it up, and here we go. We can see who is topping the leaderboard this week 1. Get rid of the back screen and we can just take a look at how things are looking going into week 1. So we've got top of the leaderboard, tied with Will, is Hector VGC. Played 1, won 1. Win difference is 2. He won 2-0 with 3 points. So you've got point wise, you've got Hector, Will, Johnny, Wormseye and Pokemon all tying for first place right now. Just the win difference taking apart Will and Hectic for this first week. Then we've got Urine in 6th place with 2 points from this 2-1 wins. You get a point for each 2-1 loss that you take. Stu on 1 point, his match was 2-1 loss, and then Pinko and Jace face at the bottom of the table. But like I say, don't get too discouraged from these results. We've got plenty of more matches coming up in the rest of this week. So it's been amazing, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed the episode today. and I hope you look forward to next week's installment of our VGC Flinch Squad Circuit and the Sun Series. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves and goodbye. We'll stop that for next week, but never mind. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye bye.